are in listen-only mode.
Turn on my microphone. Good morning. I'd like to call this formal meeting of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Good morning. Thank you. Supervisor Hickman will be joining us a little later. Supervisor Galvin.
Good morning. Here.
Supervisor Gates.
Here.
Supervisor Gallardo.
Here.
Chairman Sellers.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, Supervisor Gallardo, would you please introduce your guest that will lead us in the invocation and pledge today?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it is an honor to be able to have Chief Henry with the Gila Bend Fire District here to join us. She will start us off, and if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a few comments after our invocation and pledge.
Absolutely. Everyone, please stand.
Good morning. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today as we prepare for this meeting, seeking your presence and guidance. We recognize the responsibility and the importance of the decisions being made by this esteemed group of individuals as they make decisions that will impact not only the organization they serve, but also the community they represent. We pray for wisdom as they discuss and deliberate on different matters. Grant them the clarity of thought and open their minds to new ideas and perspectives. Help them listen to one another with respect and understanding, seeking common ground and unity on their discussions. Bless each member of the board with patience and the spirit of cooperation. Help them work together as a team, recognizing and valuing the unique contribution that each member brings. We also pray for the success and prosperity of this board. May all efforts be fruitful, impactful, and in alignment with your will. Finally, we acknowledge that our plans and efforts are ultimately in your hands, and we ask for your blessings up on this Board of Supervisors and their work. We surrender today's agenda to you and ask that your will be done in and throughout the board meeting. May your presence be felt among us, guiding and inspiring each one of them as they seek to make wise decisions. We offer this prayer in faith, trusting in goodness and provision. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor Gallardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and once again, thank you, Chief Henry. The chief and I have had several discussions over the last few years. I really got to meet her back in 2001. They had this tragic flood out in Gila Bend. I think Mr. Hickman and I are very familiar with. The people of Gila Bend were just devastated with this massive flood. You had a couple of deaths. People were just left homeless without anywhere to go. And you really saw the community come together. The chief, during this flood, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of her own home was devastated, underwater. And she reported directly to the fire station to help service the people of Gila Bend. I mean, her own home was flooded and underwater. Real quickly made sure her family was safe, and she rushed over to the fire department to help save others. She's had 14 years of service with the Gila Bend Volunteer Fire District. There's around 20 to 25 all volunteers that are servicing this area. I have gotten to know her well. We've become great friends, partnering up on a couple of projects out there in Gila Bend. But she is just a true hero and a leader out there in Gila Bend. And you've always heard me say this is my little diamond of the West Valley, Gila Bend. You know, we all drive through it. We're all familiar with it. But if you just stop for a second, go off the highway there, You see generations of families that have lived there for years and years, and just a great community. It's a very close-knit community, always having community events out there. Communities always come together. But Chief, thank you so much for all the service you do for the people of Gila Bend. A true hero once again, and just thank you. I appreciate. I was expecting her to do it via Zoom because it's Gila Bend. It's a distance, but no, she said I want to go down there. So thank you so much for making the journey to downtown Phoenix and being part of today's meeting. Thank you so much for your service.
Yes, thank you, Chief. We really appreciate what you do. And I will just remind everyone that we cut off requests to speak after 10 minutes after the start of the meeting. Okay, the next agenda item is Pet Showcase. Kim, please introduce us to the star of today's Pet Showcase, Missy.
All right, I know you guys can't see her, but maybe she'll jump up on the, wow, she's totally trained. We planned that all day, we practiced it. This is Missy, she is 4 years old. She actually lived with a family her entire life until recently their living situation changed and she was surrendered to the shelter. We know it's a very difficult decision for them, but we are determined to find her another perfect home. Her previous owners say that she is great with kids as young as 2 years old. She loves all adults, but she especially, quote, loves men. So she literally took man's best friend to heart. And she also is crate trained and potty trained, and we recently found out she loves tennis balls and she'll just walk around with the tennis ball as long as you will let her. And she also just loves to sit next to you and tries to be a lap dog even though she's about 40 pounds. But she is at our West shelter and she is already spayed and ready to go home today.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. Madam Clerk, are there any announcements or corrections to the agenda?
Chairman, Supervisors, I do have just one announcement. Item number 14, it is a patent easement abandonment PAB 0236. That item will be continued to the June 12, 2024 meeting, and it is noted in your notes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 5 is the Tom Manos Outstanding Service Award. Since 2017, the board has had the honor of presenting the Tom Manos Award to a county employee. This award recognizes a person who embodies servant leadership using their strengths to help others, which means the nominees are not always from department leadership, but rather the people making a difference on the job as public servants and in their community as volunteers. We had 12 notable nominees this year from multiple appointed departments and elected offices. If you are one of the nominees in attendance, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. This year's award comes from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and it's my honor to invite Sheriff Russ Skinner to come forward and introduce us to the 2024 Tom Manos Award recipient. Sheriff?
Thank you, Chairman, and the board, and County Manager for having me here. My honor and privilege to be able to announce this award today, and actually it's a deputy sheriff, which is very, very dear to my heart that one of our employees is getting recognized. But as the supervisor stated, as the chairman stated, this has created an honor to the legacy of retired County Manager Tom Manos. Mr. Manos was a committed public servant who dedicated his life to helping others, both in his professional capacity and as a county and state employee, but also as a volunteer and most notably at the Human Services Campus. The Tom Manos Award is meant to recognize the best of the best, focusing on people who have created a new program or initiative or improved a process that made their team more efficient, saved money, or improved customer service. In addition, the award winner must actively volunteer to community needs outside of their work responsibilities. Maricopa County leadership received several submittals for this annual award, which is a true reflection of the outstanding workforce Maricopa County has and their willingness to serve above and beyond their normal duties. I want to commend all the employees who received nominations and their achievements for being extremely worthy of submission of this award. The chosen recipient for the 2024 Tom Manos Award is Deputy Michael Martinez with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Martinez has worked with the county as a deputy sheriff for over 19 years. and currently assigned as the Advanced Training Officer in the training unit and a field training coordinator for the agency. Over the past year, Deputy Martinez has met with multiple law enforcement agencies across the valley and conducted research to compare training programs. During this process, he had found opportunities for the agency to improve our training program through enhanced partnerships and advanced technology to assist with implementing a program specific to the agency needs and, most importantly, in line with 21st century policing standards. The standards are the best practices designed to help the agency promote effective crime reduction while improving public trust and safeguarding the officer's well-being. The 6 pillars of the 21st century policing model include building trust and legitimacy, policy and oversight, technology and social media, community policing and crime reduction, training and education, officer wellness and safety. The changes Deputy Martinez advocated for to help address at all these pillars are the standards that align with the community expectations. While working on this task, Deputy Martinez also balanced leading a Deputy Service Aide Academy with limited notice. MCSO had just approved and successfully hired 6 Deputy Service Aides who needed the training to be deployed out in the community. Deputy Martinez welcomed the challenge in building up a curriculum while delivering enhanced training throughout the academy. In just 2 weeks, Deputy Martinez led the task of revising the class curriculum, developing testing material, identifying instructors, building a schedule, and providing successful guidance to deliver the DSA program on schedule. These are just a couple of the in-house examples of what Deputy Martinez did within the workplace. However, what might be more impressive is what he does on the outside of the workplace. Deputy Martinez began his career in the northwest portion of Maricopa County. He instantly began to get involved with public events to enhance community engagement, specifically in the Gila area, which consists of 1.5 square miles and has a population of approximately 550 people. The town has 1 school and few opportunities for employment. In many remote towns, law enforcement is only seen in the area when called for service and lacks opportunities to conduct proactive community engagement. Due to this, many community members in remote towns such as Aguila generally don't interact with deputies outside of the law enforcement related encounters. Over the years, Deputy Martinez has made it a priority to be part of Aguila's annual Christmas event and the MCSO versus Aguila basketball game. This past year, Deputy Martinez, with assistance of staff and volunteers, were able to bring a box truck full of gifts ranging from bicycles to giant Barbie play sets to the town of Aguila for this annual Christmas event. His fundraising efforts and successful network provided enough toys to not only supply distribution to the Aguila area, but also cover the Morristown School, whose students deal with parallel challenges. Deputy Martinez even coordinated Santa Claus's appearance on a fire truck. The most recent basketball game marked the 20th anniversary of this event. To celebrate, Deputy Martinez took it upon himself to purchase a large trophy to be awarded to the team. With Aguila being so remote, Deputy Martinez coordinated with the MCSO Transportation Division to shuttle MCSO staff to Aguila for participation in the basketball game. This allowed for a positive increase in staff members attending the event, and in addition, he ordered T-shirts for participants and children attending the event. In speaking with a 4th grader at this year's basketball game who wanted one of the T-shirts, the student replied, "Thank you, and now I can wear a different shirt each and every day to school because I only has 4 shirts." This is the kind of positive impact these events have had on the children in this community. Mr. Tom Manos has been described as a calm person in a storm, a person engaged with the community beyond his call of duty and expectations of his position. Deputy Michael Martinez embodies these characteristics and is very deserving of this award. Congratulations, Deputy Martinez, and thank you for your service to the community, to our county, to our agency, and your willingness to go above and beyond the expectations of your assignment in making a positive impact on public service. So Deputy Martinez, where are you at, sir? Standing behind me.
And I would like to have our board go out front to get a picture with Deputy Martinez and with the sheriff, please. Oh, yeah, thanks. Okay, moving on to,
Mr. Chairman, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Would it be okay if I made a comment
Absolutely.
on the award that was just made? First of all, congratulations to Deputy Martinez for your service to the county. Absolutely phenomenal work and just awe-inspiring and inspirational. And thank you to Sheriff Skinner for not only showing up here today, but displaying just such an example, great example of leadership throughout the county. And one of the things I've really been struck by in my 2.5 years as a county supervisor is that every single deputy sheriff I have met is an impressive in their own way. And when we think about the thousands of employees that work at the county, to me, the most visible face of Maricopa County are our deputy sheriffs. They probably interact with the public more often than any other person who works here in Maricopa County. Even though every single person in Maricopa County is dedicated to excellent service, we really rely on the deputy sheriffs for a wide variety of tasks and responsibilities, and we expect a lot of them, and they sacrifice a lot for us. First of all, every single time they leave their house and their family in the morning, they're putting their life on the line for us. But when we hear stories today about Deputy Martinez, it not only represents the great work that he does, but represents all of the great work of all of the deputy sheriffs in Maricopa County. We have an excellent sheriff's department. We have an excellent sheriff right now. And just think about all of the trials and tribulations our department has gone through over the last few years, especially over the last decade. And every single one of these men and women are still here, still dedicating themselves to this department, to each other, and to our community. So it's not only thanks and appreciation to Deputy Martinez and our sheriff, but every single deputy in our department. And Mr. Chairman, I'm really proud of Deputy Martinez. Thank you.
thank you, Vice Chair, well said. Supervisor Hickman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Tom, for saying that, because it's so important about the presence of our deputies in far-flung areas like Aguila. You talk about your little gem out in Gila Bend, and when I took office, there were questions about how we were being capable of servicing Aguila. It's out there, and I just want to thank Mr. Martinez, or Deputy Martinez, for showing the love and compassion that the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the county has for the people and the residents out there. Things have totally changed, and that's a big reason. Sponsoring a bus to get everybody out there for an event, of which this is the first time I've ever even heard about that from our sheriff's department. So that's fantastic, and I wish he would have been here in the audience still to thank him for that, because it is awfully important. And I just also wanted to say about the award. It's named Tom Manos Outstanding Service Award because I have a very deep and long friendship with Tom, and it remains so to this day. Community service in this fashion doesn't start and end with the official position. Tom was a member of the Peace Corps, and he served in Liberia many moons before he became county manager. And for those who don't know it, he was just in Liberia this year with his class, going back to the same village and villages to see what has transpired and what more he could do for that certain area of our world. So thank you for Tom by leading example for me. Also, that it just doesn't end. If it's in your heart and your soul, it's going to continue on with or without these positions that you find yourself in life. So thank you to Tom for being such a steward of public service.
Thank you, Supervisor. Okay. All right, item number 6, Risk Management Department Self-Insured Public Employer Award. And I will ask Supervisor Gates to lead us on this item.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I was thrilled to have the opportunity last week to join our risk management department at the Industrial Commission of Arizona. This is a government body that I think a lot of us maybe don't pay a lot of attention to, but it's extremely important. This is a group that helps protect great employees like our deputy sheriff, protect them in their jobs, make sure that they're not injured on the job, and if they are, that they get the care that they deserve. So we were thrilled when the Industrial Commission of Arizona recognized Maricopa County with a brand new award. Maricopa County received the award as the Self-Insured Public Employer of the Year. And so I was able to go out there and accept the award with our team from risk management. Really, really an impressive ceremony and an impressive award. And what they looked at in this was a number of items, including the denial rates and bad faith claims. And principles and ethics in claims handling. And this is what's so important. Since 2013, when Maricopa County brought its claims division in-house, we've not had one bad faith claim since 2013. So that's really, really exceptional. So the way that the team has been so successful is by building great relationships with human resources and departments across the county. So I want to recognize our Deputy County Manager, Val Beckett, as well as our Director of Risk Management, Chris Caples, and the entire team for this incredible award. So congratulations.
Okay, Board, I would like for us to go out front and get a picture with the risk management team.
Yeah, I think so. Get up on the right.
That's all I need is a sprained ankle.
Okay, the next agenda item is Planning and Zoning Consent Agenda. Item 7, Hope Community Service Equine Therapy. Item 8, Yellow Bell Solar Project. Item 9,
Arquahela.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Sun modification of conditions. Madam Clerk, are there any registered speakers or comments received on items 7 through 9?
Chairman, I have none for these items.
Board will now consider items 7 through 9.
Move to approve items 7 through 9, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And thank you, Supervisor.
Well, I think it's in Gallardo's district, so I just
It's
beat him
just
to the
down the
punch.
street. What was it? 483rd Avenue? Down the street. Just down the street. 483rd.
Okay, next, statutory hearings, Clerk of the Board. Item 10, impact statement hearing for the proposed Los Palmaritas Irrigation Water Delivery District. Item 11, de-annexation from the City of Phoenix to Maricopa County. Under Transportation, items 12 and 13, patent easement abandonments as listed on the agenda. Madam Clerk, are there any registered speakers or comments received on items 10 through 13?
Chairman, I did receive 2 speaker forms on item number 10, the impact statement hearing. One is from Daniel, and I'm sorry, Daniel, if I mess up your last name, Daniel Prefontaine. He is in favor and is available to speak only if necessary. I also have a speaker form from Leslie Shepard. She wishes to speak in opposition.
Okay, Leslie?
Good morning. Hello, Mr. Chairman, everyone else. I actually can't say that I'm speaking for or against it. The reason that I came up here to speak on this is, Mr. Speaker, on this agenda item number 10 and others, so it all pertains here, is that we had less than 24 hours that we received a limited description on the majority of the agenda items. It went out on Friday with titles, nothing in there. And within the last 24 hours, there was different items put in there, but they weren't very clear. So the county attorney at the last meeting made it very clear that what she does is that she submits a full language to the board. So I guess my question to you would be, how do we, the people, get that full language?
I believe the language was submitted 24 hours before this meeting.
No, actually, sir, it wasn't. That's why I'm asking you.
Board will now consider items 10 through 13.
Okay, so what I'd like to know is, it says right here, Los Palmeritas Irrigation Water Delivery District. So one of the things it says on here, it says the board determines that the public health, comfort, convenience, necessity, welfare will be promoted. So then I went and I looked at what is Los Palmeritas Irrigation Water Delivery District. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I wasn't the only one that looked. I had other people look. So I'm asking you to help clarify that, because you're sitting here talking about things with convenience, necessity, welfare. And so what would that be, Mr. Chairman? I know that Mr. Gates said something to you, but I'm directing this question to you, sir. How do we find out the information on that, sir?
Gates.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. I think this is a great opportunity for folks to learn about what our irrigation water delivery district.
Can I have my time stop as you're speaking, please? Because I was at,
Yeah,
it was at 18 seconds.
I think that's an appropriate request, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
If Mr. Chair, if I might direct this inquiry, and maybe we can talk a little bit about the notice that's provided to those residents who are directly affected by these irrigation districts.
Chairman, Supervisors, the supporting documents for this agenda item are attached and are available when the final agenda is posted out to the web 24 hours in advance. The impact statement is attached, the resolution, and the SRP consent. These are the items that are attached to this agenda item.
They might be attached, but they don't explain it. I'm sorry, Juanita.
And Mr. Chair, Madam Clerk, this is a very specific, this deals with a very small area where these irrigation districts are, and they're provided as an opportunity for residents to make sure that they're getting the irrigation they need, and we provide additional notice to the people who live in those areas. And in fact, you have someone on your staff who focuses on that effort, right?
That is correct,
Okay.
Supervisor Gates. And just to make note that this item is a hearing, and this is to approve the impact statement and to authorize the persons to circulate the petitions. This is not yet forming the district.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So thank you very much for answering it that way. But what I will ask you is, what I'm realizing is that you said within the last 24 hours that it was put in there. Did you receive it before the last 24 hours, the board? If you respond, please stop my time.
All the information was presented to us at the same time it was presented to you.
So within the last 24 hours is when you guys received the
Prior to the start of this meeting.
for all of these agenda items. Thank you for putting that on record, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will move that we approve items number 10 through 13.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under statutory hearings, transportation continued. Item 14, patent easement abandonments, road file number PAB-0236. This item will be continued to the June 12th meeting. Do I have a motion to continue this item?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under county officers, assessor, item 15, state retirement system government property lease tax. Under Board of Supervisors, item 16, community solutions funding. Under county attorney, item 17, appointments. The board will now consider items 15 through 17.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 15 through 17. I'd like to make a comment about number 16.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second. Vice Chair.
Did we vote? Or-
Yeah, I just said
Oh,
second.
okay. Number 16 is for 3 chilled water fountains for people and dogs at McDowell Mountain Regional Park, and this is really exciting. These 3 water fountains will provide additional sources of water for Maricopa County residents and their dogs. The availability of clean drinking water at the trailhead staging area will benefit hikers and their dogs and will enhance their outdoor experience at McDowell Mountain Park. I appreciate all the hard work our Parks Director, R.J. Carden, and his team at Parks have put into this effort. I'm really proud of this endeavor because this is vitally important, especially during the heat. We want to enhance the experience for people when they enjoy our parks, and people travel with their best friend. And we saw a beautiful dog here this morning, and hopefully one day he will be traveling at that park, and not only that, but enjoying these water fountains. So, Mr. Chairman, with pride, we're very happy about number 16.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under County Officers, County Attorney continued. Item 18, data transfer and use agreements with ASU. And Supervisor Gates will recuse on this item.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Chairman, I do have one speaker form. Ray Michaels wishes to speak on this item number 18.
Okay. Mr. Michaels?
Good morning, Ray Michaels. So item number 18, it also pertains to what Ms. Shepard had mentioned earlier, and I'm just a little bit confused. And if you could, just for myself and everyone here, is it my understanding that your statement was that the board only receives this information 24 hours in advance of the actual meeting? I just need more clarification, please.
No, what I was trying to explain is that we receive all the information that you do at least 24 hours before the meeting. Not every item is brand new to us 24 hours before the meeting.
Okay. And when is the appropriate time for we, the people, to be able to review the information that you've had that is not new to you, but would be new to us?
We comply with the law on having all items on the agenda posted more than 24 hours before the start of our meeting. And if you have comments, even after the meeting, you're welcome to supply those to our board in writing, online, however you'd like to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what you're saying is after the vote takes place, then we would be able to comment on whether we approve or disapprove? Am I correct in assuming that?
Vice Chair?
No,
Oh,
just listening.
In other words, do our comments actually matter in the decisions made by the elected officials?
The reason you are given 24 hours is so that you can make comments about the item at the meeting if you have concerns about it.
And we would love to be able to do that. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't get the information in its entirety. So if you have maybe a website or a link that we can go to that we can have the full amount of information that you already have, so then we can come up here and be able to make comments accordingly.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I believe the clerk's office website has all of the active links for the backup documentation that we spend time reviewing and putting together and working with both your offices and all the departments and the county attorney's office to fully vet all of these items prior to them turning up on the agenda. And then the clerk's office follows the law for the notification and posts this on their website.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chair, could you please provide that exact link so that everybody here could go there directly and we wouldn't have this confusion at the meetings?
Chairman, Supervisors, if the documents are provided with the agenda as per statute 24 hours before the meeting. Now, out of courtesy, a draft agenda is posted on Friday, but not all attachments are necessarily available at that time. But with the final agenda, again, per statute, we are required to post within 24 hours before the meeting, and any attachments that are attached to the items are available for the public.
Yeah, Madam Clerk, I think he was asking for what link he could use to access that.
To access the agenda,
No, the actual link, the 24 hours before, what is the link that we can go
Mr.
to
Michael,
where we
if
can?
you can email me or send an email to the clerk's office, I can answer that question for you.
All right, so you will provide a link that we can go to 24 hours in advance?
Yes, I can provide that to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so with regard to 18, data transfer and use agreement between Maricopa County and the Arizona Board of Regents for and on behalf of the state, Arizona State University. As we know, data transfer, anything like that is, well, it looks like my time is up.
No.
Yeah.
He's asking questions.
No.
Mr. Chairman,
I understand.
move
Thank you.
approval of item number 18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We can have Supervisor Gates return. Under Sheriff, item 19 through 21, IGAs with City of Mesa, City of Tempe, Office of National Drug Control Policy. Item 22, amend lease agreement with IP BPG City Square LLC. Item 23, donations. Under Treasurer, items 24 through 25, offer on tax deeded land parcels as listed on the agenda. The board will now consider items 19 through 25.
Excuse me, Chairman. I do have a couple of speaker forms. I have one from Lumar Garza. She wishes to speak on item number 19, IGA with City of Mesa. And then a second speaker form from Ray Michael, and he wishes to speak on item number 24, and it is one of the offers on the tax deeded land parcel. First, on item number 19, Lumar Garza.
Lumar Garza. I am visiting here from Miami, and I am learning quite a lot about how contemptibly corrupt politicians can be. However, for item 19 that runs into 20 and actually runs into 21, I encourage everybody, and I'll read it, approve an IGA between Maricopa County on behalf of Maricopa County Sheriff's Training Academy, sworn basic training, and drug trafficking. Each of these contracts, or the one I'm speaking about, 19, is for 2 years. And I've got a very simple solution to avoid that you have an overload of the Freemason decay that you can smell in this building. What you need to do is close the border. When you close the border, you won't need this overload and excessive law authority if you close the border. Read it again. The agreement allows the City of Mesa Detention to recruit people at $250 per registrant. You're going to provide workers' compensation, insurance, salary, benefits, uniforms, and other items. Are you also going to make a background check? Are you going to vet these people properly? You're on the border. Why don't you take the time to close it so you don't have to waste taxpayer money, taxpayer time, all of these individuals here wishing they didn't have to be under your thumb, to have to keep training more and more people to be crunts. And go ahead and look that one up. I appreciate the opportunity to come here. I've asked each one of you to at least give me a return call. But it seems to me that you're so contemptibly corrupted that you cannot escape what you're doing. Again, your phones snitch on you, but in the end, where we go one, we go all. Thank you.
Mr. Michaels?
Mr. Michaels, item number 24.
Hello, Ray Michaels. This pertains to item number 24 and number 25. I just had a few questions on this. The amount of $200, I looked these up on the Maricopa County website, the assessor's website. It seems like the valuation is much, much higher than $200 for both 24 and 25. So I'm a couple questions. Number one, does this amount also include the taxes that are owed? And if you could hold my time on that while you answer.
Chairman, I'm not sure if anyone from the Treasurer's Office is online, but if they are not, Alex Smith from our Real Estate Department is online, and he can answer any questions related to these two items. But at this point in time, this is a tax deed, and so this has been, the ownership has been transferred and taxes have been abated. It's been transferred to the state, and we serve essentially as a real estate agent to get these properties back on the tax roll. But Alex may be able to add.
Okay, did that answer your question, or?
Oh, I thought she just, did you ask Alex to answer anything? Is he online? No? Okay. A couple more questions. So is there a minimum amount that would be required to purchase based on an appraised value? I have some friends that are looking to purchase property here in the Phoenix area just on an abandonment, and they had to go through a 2-year process, get it appraised, go through the entire thing just to come up with an amount. And again, one of these properties was valued tax assessor-wise at almost $100,000, and it looks like they're purchasing it for $200. If you have any deals like this, I would love to be able to purchase it. In fact, I'll give you the money right now. I'll buy both of these for $400, sight unseen. The purpose is to maximize the amount of money that's coming in for the tax revenue, not to give away the properties. So if on one side they have to go through a huge process to purchase it, get it appraised, and on this end they get it at such a huge discount, I would like a little bit more explanation of how this can be approved.
Mr. Chair, as we're waiting on others, I'm looking at the item here, which is available to everyone. It says pursuant to ARS 42-18303, real property.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh,
Alex Smith is
great.
on.
There we go.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I was muted. So to answer the question, and the manager was correct, these are tax deeded parcels. The ownership is already transferred. The taxes have been abated. The price paid includes includes is a strong word, but when someone buys these, it does go back onto the tax rolls and they will be paying future taxes on that. That is the whole purpose of this. The valuations of the assessor are independent of what the actual value of the property is.
No, that's understandable, but still, it's the requirement of the county to maximize the amount of money that is coming in for any land that is purchased within the county. So I would think that a $200 amount is far less to have that property. Isn't the purpose to maximize?
And Chair, if I can answer that, the purpose is to maximize and also to take them off the state ownership and back on the tax rolls. These two parcels that are on here are actually roads. They are like cul-de-sac roads that serve about 6-7 houses. The properties are actually restricted for ingress egress, so there is nothing that could be built on this. It is primarily a road, and most of the times with these tax-deeded parcels, it was an artifact of an incorrect parcel split, so you end up with like a strip of somebody's backyard or a road. Many times it is somebody that is adjacent that buys it, so then they start paying taxes on, which maximizes the tax revenue for the entire taxpayer base. So in this case, this is not something they can build on. So in my opinion, $200 is certainly maximizing the amount for this property.
And thank you for that answer. Again, like I said, I have friends that have an alley easement, which has a utility easement on it, and they're paying in the tens of thousands of dollars for a utility easement in an alleyway. So again, we're looking to maximize the amount of money that the county gets. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, both of those both of those are in my district, and clearly I can see what we're talking about prior to this meeting and during this meeting. So are you ready for a motion?
I am.
Motion to approve items 19 through 25,
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Chair, if I might add as well, again, if you look at the item, it indicates there's already been one auction that's been held. And so there were no bidders. And in addition, there's no one here that has bid at a higher amount than $200. So the process is available. People have the opportunity. So thank you.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under County Management, Assistant County Manager, item 26, amend agreement with Valley of the Sun United Way. Item 27, revision of policy A1511, Constables Organization. Item 28, rescind policy A2232, Constables Personal Training, Safety Training. The board will now consider items 26 through 28.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items 26, 27, and 28.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under County Offices and Departments, Air Quality, item 29, fiscal year 24, substantive policy statement certification. Under Elections, item 30, Precinct Committeeman. Under Emergency Management, item 31, cooperative agreement with Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management. Under Environmental Services, item 32, Board of Health fee waiver reimbursement. Under Equipment Services, item 33, vehicle exemption from markings and non-government license plates.
Chairman, I have two speaker forms. Both speaker forms are from Veronica Cochran. She wishes to speak on item number 29 and on item number 30. Veronica, item number 29.
Thank you. I believe that is about air quality, right? 29?
That is correct.
Yes, so please, I have a question regarding this because I'm really concerned about air quality that I've realized it's never talked about because you are supervisors and you supervise. God gave us this beautiful atmosphere so we can live in it, but I'm concerned about geoengineering. I'm concerned about climate engineering. I can read to you what that actually is on Wikipedia, but since you are supervisors, please can you for once give me an answer. I always try to understand where are the chemtrails coming from? Who is putting those chemtrails in the air at certain time of days and the sky is covered when we wake up in the morning. We cannot see the sun. I would just like to understand, this is our own, you and I breathe the same air. Can you please tell us? We need to understand, you supervise this. Chairman, can you please help me understand?
Mr. Chairman, I would highly suggest perhaps we take her comments and get her in touch with Air Quality, and they can sit down and have this type of robust discussion at that time.
Thank you, Supervisor.
So the suggestion is that what again? Can you give me something in writing?
No, we're not giving you nothing in writing, but we're going to get you in touch with our director with Air Quality.
Okay.
You can sit down and talk, and he'll answer all your questions, all right?
Okay, and who is supervising them?
He's the director.
Okay, and who he's paid by?
Ma'am, I'm not going to engage in a conversation.
I mean, I'm just,
okay.
I have a right to know because money.
Your comments are duly noted. Thank you.
Well, I still didn't finish my comment, but this is a concern that I never knew since I came to this country, and I talked to many people, and I was always answered wrong. Like I even asked on social media, say, "Oh, this is just a plain exhaust," but there is a difference between the plain exhaust and the chemtrail. And geoengineering and weather control. I do believe God will not allow us to do something vicious. We need to be careful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, I have a speaker form also from Veronica, and she wishes to speak on item number 30, Precinct Committeeman.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, this is something that I've noticed a big difference when I become a precinct committee woman. You know, under McCain, when he was our senator, our precinct committee power of every precinct committeeman was given to like 160 proxies. Now, since people get involved in becoming a precinct committeeman, curiously, we only can have one proxy. I just don't understand. And besides that, Governor Ducey a couple of years ago also nearly signed a new bill in the middle of the night it's called Kill PC Bill. I wonder why that would be. I wonder why would our official, people who represent us, fear people. I mean, it's good that you fear people, but why would you try to eliminate people and not give them the power under the same as under McCain? Thankfully, we had a movement that was strong enough that people noticed that our power and our Constitution is based on the people, and precinct committeemen are representing our party. So I just am questioning again, how is this allowed in America? I came from communist country and I studied in China. I've seen this there. I'm not expecting this here. Please, can you do something about that? And just ask your conscience if this is good for our country. We are the people, including you, and we are one under the God. And please, let's save this country. I beg you.
Thank you for your input.
Will be there anything that we can, like, I just want you to understand.
What you're talking about is really not anything that's included in this agenda item for the board to consider. So.
Yes, I understand, but you guys, if you're not informed, how you can make a decision?
Thank you. The board will now consider items 29 through 33.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items 29 through 33.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under Finance, item 34, Funds, Transfers, Warrants. Item 35, Apportionment of National Forest Fees and Appropriation Adjustment. Under Human Resources, Budget Adjustment for Fiscal Year 24, Employee Benefits Trust Fund. Item 37, Voluntary Benefits Rates for Plan Year 2025. 38 through 40, excuse me, benefit rates for plan year 2025 for dental, medical, vision. Item 41, IGA with the Regional Public Transportation Authority. Item 42, amend premium pay rates. Item 43, market ranges.
Chairman, I have one speaker form from Blue Crawley. He wishes to speak on item number 41.
I was going to speak on this and two other items on your agenda, and all of them are the relationship with the RPTA. I've got the board meeting agenda from last week. I don't know whether you attended or not, but what this agenda item is covering basically is RPTA and you guys saying, hey, if you work for us, we're trying to cut down, and all of these things are a part of that equation, so we're going to pay for your Platinum Pass. That's all it is. There's 3 of them. And I go, with this being a trip reduction thing, and that the way to do trip reduction is more routes and such. And I look in here and I see the short-range plan, and it's got jurisdictional equity. But it doesn't have you guys in there. It says that you're a part of, I believe, the West Side. Well, with jurisdictional equity and you being one of the jurisdictions, where is the input of funds, both from yourselves and from the RPTA Valley Metro, putting out those routes that, how many of them did I point out were in county islands? So when I see that this is what you guys are doing, smoke and mirrors, there's no effort to get the job done. You know, where is the expansion of service? I look at the short-range plan in here, and what I see is, well, we're going to make sure that the rail gets its money, but there is no plan for expansion to get the job done. So as I have stated before, I request all of you, when you go into that ballot box
Thank you, Blue.
on November, vote no on that extension.
The board will now consider items 34 through 43.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items 34 through 43.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under Human Services, item 44, American Rescue Plan Act expenditure approvals and budget adjustments. Items 45 through 50, amend agreements, contract with Community Bridges, Inc. and the United Food Bank, Inc., Town of Guadalupe, First United Methodist Church of Mesa, City of Scottsdale, Robin Schaefer Consulting, LLC, Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence. Item 51, appropriation adjustment for grant subsidy transfer.
Chairman, I do have one speaker form from Laura Baroni. She wishes to speak on item number 44.
So first, I'd like to address you, Chairman Sellers, that you said that the agenda items are supposed to be posted more than 24 hours before the meeting. And then I heard within 24 hours. So which is it? More than 24 hours or less? I'd like to know, please.
It has to be 24 hours prior to the meeting. So I think both statements are exactly the same.
No, they're not, in my opinion, sir.
At least 24 hours.
At least 24 hours.
At least. So that means 24 hours or beyond. Correct? That means 24 hours
or more.
Or more, not less. So why can we not get the details in full more than 24 hours prior to this meeting so that things can be looked at? Because we can't really see the full agenda until we get here and pull one off the table. And I don't think that's appropriate for anybody to have full disclosure and full knowledge as to what will be discussed. So it is supposed to be, according to your words, Chairman Sellers, more than 24 hours before this meeting. Correct?
24 hours is the cutoff. If it's less than 24 hours, it cannot be on the agenda.
Oh, well, that's an interesting statement, sir. Thank you for saying that. Okay.
Chairman,
moving on to item.
Madam Clerk.
Chairman, if you would
I'd like to reserve my time
for our all-male attorney to clarify.
Please.
Chairman, the statute, Arizona law requires that agenda items must give sufficient particularity with at least 24 hours notice.
Thank you.
So that tells me 24 hours is the minimum, not the maximum amount of time required.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, now speaking on item 44, I would just like to say it looks like you're transferring for $1,767,000 from non-departmental category to human services category. Do I understand that correctly? Chairman Sellers? You reserve my time.
County Manager?
We have Valerie Beckett, who oversees this, that can answer that question in the audience.
Mr. Chairman, yes, the ARPA funding is being transferred to Human Services.
Okay.
Okay, and why? Excuse me, I was addressing Chairman Sellers, not you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I might make a suggestion. Instead of having a series of questions, be adding more questions, I would assume it would be better for us with staff here that go ahead and take the 2 minutes and ask the questions that you feel need to be answered, and then we can get those questions done quickly instead of just continuing to go through and go through. Okay?
So are you tabling my question? Is that what you're saying?
No, go ahead.
Well, that was the last of my questions, but first of all, I'd just like to say that where's the money? Why are we taking money regarding COVID? Because it says this is for coronavirus fiscal, from the Coronavirus Fiscal Recovery Fund. Why are we still taking money from coronavirus, which we know is a man-made bioweapon and is doing harm to countless numbers of people around the world? Why are we still taking that money? That's like Judas taking 30 coins of silver.
Thank you. The board will now consider items 44 through 51.
Mr. Chairman, move approval items 44 through 51.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under Parks and Recreation, item 52 through 53, amend agreements with Junior National Foundation and Adobe Mountain Golf Course. Item 54, donations. Under Procurement, items 55 and 56, amend contracts for temporary housing assistance. Item 57, contract for Maricopa County Elections Facility. Under Public Health, 58, affiliation agreement with Crandall and Associates Consulting Dietitians, Inc. Item 59, IGA with Arizona Department of Economic Security. Item 60, opioid settlement funds. 61 through 70, amend contracts, IGAs as listed on the agenda.
Chairman, I have several speaker forms here. I will start with Lumar Garza. She wishes to speak on item number 55, the temporary housing assistance item.
Luis Garza. On item 55, which conveniently flows into 56, which flows into 50, and also a couple of others, you have a really good solution, and apparently in this item 55, temporary housing assistance, that's amendment number 5, and others are having amendment 8, 9, whatever, which tells me that you have budgeted to house illegals at the Roadway Inn and the Sure Stay by Best Western. And I'm trying to figure out why you are not taking the easiest route, close the border. Go ahead and take those 14 million, 15, 16, close the border. You won't have to keep renting these as you raise it from I'm assuming the 4th Amendment that was 4,750,000 to the 5th Amendment, 5,591,000. The next one will be 6, 7. You're going to go in the millions again and again. Mr. Chairman, have you no control over the budget of this county? Have you no control over the people, the illegals coming in on the backs of people who work here and have for years? You also have another item that it flows into item 44, also known as a bridge sheltering operation. Yet another one, stop housing illegals, close the border. Do you not all see a pattern? And I say this to everybody, that if you'll take your marker and you'll start to notice a pattern with each of these items, how it is a shell game and money laundering. And I would hope that each of you would take, as I've seen many of these citizens here, take these items, go into them, and if we can have access to the attachments, that would be really nice. Because remember, we have laws, we know how to use them, and you're the ones that have to implement them and make sure that we live life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think these are actually good questions, but also a great opportunity for our county manager to explain how we help residents here and how we follow the law in doing so. On number 55, please.
Chairman and Vice Chair, these contracts are for temporary housing for people that are experiencing homelessness but transitioning into permanent housing. And our success rate for these programs is 80% of the folks do successfully transition into permanent housing, and they're there at least a year that we're tracking. So these are Maricopa County residents, and they have been very successful programs in getting people back to jobs and also back in homes.
And Ms. Prikorsky, thank you for that. We say residents, but we also mean citizens, correct?
That is correct.
Or people here legally.
These are people here legally.
Anyone illegally here or undocumented is eligible? No, correct?
That is correct.
We would be breaking the law, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Very good, thank you.
Chairman, next speaker, Dan Schroeder, wishes to speak on item number 57. That's the Maricopa County Elections Facility Contract. Item number 57.
All right, well, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing the people to speak. On item 57, approve and award construction manager Rick for CMR Phase 1 pre-construction contract between Maricopa County Core Construction at a not-to-exceed amount of $1 million pre-construction services of the new elections facility for Maricopa County. And the address. My question is, Mr. Chairman, how can we, the people, have a legitimate chance to speak our grievances or our concerns about something like this with 24 hours notice of something especially this important with an election facility going in? So that my question is, why can't we have more than 24 hours to look into something like this, to come here and contact and comment on it?
Supervisor Gates?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would, that's an issue to take out to the state legislature on whether state laws should be changed on that. I think it's beyond that, it's a rhetorical question, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well, thank you. The reason this is a concern to me, especially being an elections facility, I would like to know whether this facility is going to be set up with electronic voting machines, or if we're going to actually go back to our state, Arizona constitutional rule of law, which clearly states 1 day, 1 vote, in person. Thank you.
Next speaker, Roger Pickerel, item number 60.
It's always interesting to come up here. I always get a little exercise, my mental capacity to be able to express things that I want to be able to kind of find out. We talked about agendas just briefly and going into what 60 is going to share part of that information that I'm going to be talking about today. When I was in the military, we had a muster, inspection, instruction, and officers call each day. Everything was lined out. We knew what we was going to do. We went on about our business. The next day was the same and the same and the same. So I'm just saying, protocol, procedure, people need to know so they don't get written up, all right? Now, I was looking at what the best I could understand with all this greater than a fifth grader mentality, which I have. I'm wondering, with all this opiate supplies and funding and training, we mentioned earlier that and I want to acknowledge that we do have we have some good sheriffs that are working hard. There's always going to be people in all groups that might have questions of that, capability of how that works. But bottom line is, I know we all have hearts of concern about this country, and I could feel that. Everybody serves a very delicate and honorable service for this country and this county. Being a Vietnam vet, I want to know, and one of the things that I see for our children, I keep bringing up the children, we're losing our control of protecting them because we have an open border. One of the things that's really simple, and we keep gaslighting and sidestepping these issues, is that we need, if we're going to be taking these funds, let's take them to and support those that are actually trying to work and help fight with these men down there and others that are military and non, that are part of the Border Patrol, et cetera. Let's, if we shut that valve off at the border, we could then manage our country.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Next up is Tom Arnold, item number 61, amendment to contract with Chicanos por la Causa and West Valley OBGYN.
Morning. Kind of reiterating what others have said. Again, at the last board meeting, the county attorney said that she submits the full language to the board of the.
Mr. Chair, at this point, I mean, this has been brought up time and time again. It's not on topic. And it's out of order. In fact, the last speaker didn't, out of respect to him, I didn't raise it. He didn't talk at all about the item at all.
Sir, my question is, and I guess, Mr. Chairman, if you can answer, it's a paragraph for 61, it's a paragraph for 62, it's a paragraph for 63. Is that the full body that you receive?
I got the exact same thing.
I know, sir. Is that?
That's it, right here.
Okay. That's all I wanted to find out is, and again, I wish that I had more than a high school education. Is there any way possible in the future that this can be put in language that a high school education, not a lawyer person, could understand?
Mr. Chairman, duly noted, and I'm sure the board will take that in consideration.
Okay, and the other question I would ask, Mr. Michaels had asked, and you clarified that after something is passed, there is opportunity for...
Again, Mr. Chair, this is off topic. This is not germane, it's out of order.
My question is, if we do give those comments or concerns after the vote is taken, is there any way after the fact for the vote to be changed?
Mr. Chairman, just real quickly, any member can do a motion to reconsider on any vote. All it takes is a motion and a second. But many of these questions, we can answer and enter in this dialogue, before or after the meetings, whenever. All you have to do is call my office. I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Okay, so there is a possibility after the vote that it could be changed?
Yeah, you can do a motion to reconsider.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chairman, last speaker, item number 70, which is the amendment with ASU, Laura Baroni.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, I think number 70 is with University of Arizona. Is that correct?
The speaker form listed item number 70, amendment to IGA with Arizona Board of Regents on behalf of University of Arizona.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman Sellers. This says it's to approve Amendment 5 by and through the Maricopa County Department of Public Health and the Arizona Board of Regents on behalf of University of Arizona for immunization services. I would like to know if that's going to be forcing them to get the false bioweapon COVID shot. Chairman Sellers.
County Manager.
Chairman, this is not a forced vaccination program.
Does it require them, as a student, to attend school to have that shot? I'd like a direct answer.
That is not a requirement from the county.
From the school, who's being financed partially by us?
That's not
Mr. Chairman, I would ask if again, just to keep the things going, I would appreciate you asking. She can ask a series of questions in a 2-minute time frame, and then it'll be up to you if you would decide to answer or turn over to county staff.
Excuse me? Are you changing the rules on us partway through?
No.
Okay, well, I'd like to table that then. Is that my you said that we have the ability to table it? Can you table that amendment or ARS rule?
We are not going to do that.
Ask your questions.
Isn't the vaccine jab stuff banned here in the United States at this point, especially in the state of Arizona? We know it to be a bioweapon. When are we going to stop with all that business? That's what I'd like to know.
Mr. Chairman, once again, duly noted, and we will be sure someone from Public Health can answer any questions at a later date.
And who would that person be? I'd like to make them a phone call. Can you provide that information and number?
I'll get you at, David, where's David? David, can you get it? Where's David at? He just stepped out. We'll get you that number before the meeting's out. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, well. Also, there's compensation involved. Remaining funds are going to be invoiced monthly with all invoices submitted by July 31st of 25. What invoices would those be? I'd like to know how much they're getting compensated for that.
Mr. Chairman, once again, we will duly noted. We will get that information to her.
Yeah, right. Sure.
The board will now consider items 52 through 70.
Mr. Chairman, actually, I would appreciate if Marcy Flanagan who can help us out with this? I think staff always does a great job answering questions. I know she can do that here. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Galvin, Supervisor, and Chairman Sellers. This contract is with the University of Arizona. It's not for University of Arizona students. The University of Arizona College of Public Health helps us go out into rural and communities that have a hard time receiving vaccines. This is all for a variety of vaccines, not just COVID vaccines. We offer childhood immunization vaccines for MMR, for flu, for all sorts of communicable diseases, and it is always voluntary if they want to receive these vaccines. And it's for, again, individuals that have a hard time getting to vaccine services, and the University of Arizona helps us by taking their mobile clinic out into rural areas throughout Maricopa County to provide vaccines.
So this is a voluntary program?
Yes, absolutely. All programs offered by Maricopa County Department of Public Health are voluntary.
So if someone wants one of the vaccines that you mentioned, they proactively make the request and they proactively seek it out?
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the board will now consider items 52 through 70.
Moved.
Second, with a comment.
We have a motion and a second.
I'd just like to thank our Parks and Recreation for what's come up on items 52 and 53. 53, I think I'm going to lord over Supervisor Gates here. I think this was a golf course that was in his district until the lines changed. So I've been watching what's been going on with these concessionaires and these areas where the flood control district owns, and the Parks and Recreation worked with concessionaires to do something great for the community. So congratulations to get it up to this point into District 4, Bill. And the other part is District 5, Junior National Foundation. They have now alighted onto a golf course in Estrella and doing wonderful things out there to order to rehab this facility, the concessionaire working with the Junior National Foundation. And if you can recall, about 3 or 4 years ago, this was a golf course that was in danger of getting overgrown and just becoming an issue for Goodyear. It was this golf course. Actually, you see this on the way up into Estrella Mountain, and a pretty cool area in which to live. So, congratulations, Steve, for being able to pull this off with the Parks and Recreation Department and everybody involved to make this a gem again. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Chair, while I appreciate those comments from Supervisor Hickman, I think we may have a typo here about the 500 Club in Adobe Mountain. I don't think it moved into District 4, did it?
I think it did.
I thought it did, but
It did? Okay.
Val could probably.
All right. Anyway.
The line change did not change.
Maybe it's
to pull
time
that
for
one
some more redistricting.
We will find out and we can settle it. Is there going to be a bet?
If it's
Hey,
still a
this speaks to what great facilities they are that both of us are fighting over the great work that Parks and Rec do.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. Under Public Health, item 71, amend student rotation training agreement with Arizona Board of Regents. Item 72, amend contract with Arizona Board of Regents. Supervisor Gates will recuse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The board will now consider items 71 and 72.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items number 71 and number 72.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay, continuing under Transportation, items 73 through 76, acquisition of tax-deeded parcels as listed on the agenda. Item 77, contract with Michael Baker International, Inc. Item 78, extinguishment of easements, Northern Parkway, El Mirage, alternative access. Item 79, reimbursement agreement with DPML, Copper Wing LLC. Item 80, rescind road file A669-R. 81, easement right-of-way and relocation assistance documents.
Chairman, I have one speaker form from Blue Crawley, wishes to speak on item number 73.
Yeah, I put it down there for 73 through 77 because, or 76. It says acquisition of tax deed parcels for transportation purposes. What are those transportation purposes? And 4 out of the 5 of you have this occurring in your districts. So each one of your districts is having that happen. And not to challenge what you had to say on 24 and 25, Bill, but I had a input to do a bid on that and was told by staff that there was nothing I could do on that agenda item. So I had wanted to bid on that and had tried to get an input into it. But as I said, 4 of the 5 of you have this happening in your districts. What are the transportation purposes? Could somebody explain it to me?
County Manager.
Thank you, Chairman. These are actually part of those remnant parcels that shouldn't have been split out, and these are currently in roadways. So we are moving them into the McDOT system.
Thank you.
Okay, and as I said, I did try to input for 24 and 25, and what it has up there is bid. It wasn't a request for speak. It was a request to bid on that. And I understand that these are, just roadways and such, but I look at it that I'm white, I'm male, I don't own any property, so how is it that maybe I can't vote? So taking it back to what it is to be able to vote in this country, I wanted to be a property owner. Have a pleasant, and I'll see you at public comment.
The board will now consider items 73 through 81.
Move to approve items 73 through 81, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And I want to thank Treasurer Allen, our Real Estate Department Director, Alex Smith, and Assistant County Manager, Daisy Kober, for working together on the tax deeded parcels process. I could not be more pleased that we have worked together to improve how we serve the public, so thank you. Industrial Development Authority, item 82, resolution approving issuance of bonds for SSS Education, Inc. The board will now consider item 82.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve item number 82.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under setting of hearings, planning and development, item 83, planning and zoning hearings. The board will now consider item 83.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve item number 83.
We have a motion
Second, Mr. Chairman.
and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Under consent agenda, items 84 and 85, duplicate stale dated warrants. Item 86, Head Start monthly report. 87, secured unsecured tax roll corrections. Item 88, donations. 89, delinquent property tax interest waiver. Item 90, mail ballot election request. 91, tax abatement.
Chairman, I do have one speaker form. If we can take item number 86, on its own. Leslie Shepard wishes to speak on item number 86, the Head Start monthly report.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, move approval then, items 84
Through 91.
through 91, and
I haven't spoken yet.
86.
I haven't
going to
spoke
speak on
yet.
86, right? I was moving approval, all the other items other than 86.
second
84, 85, 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
Now you're back on 86, I believe.
This item's 86.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'm looking at the website, maricopa.gov. There is no link here, so I'll make sure I say that before I ask this question. I'm looking at the Head Start monthly program, and I'm looking at that it describes that it's receive the Head Start report for 2024 submitted by the Human Services Department. Then it gives the different categories: enrollment, children served with disabilities, eligible children on a wait list, and so on. So my question is, but it's very evident that it's not the board that's going to answer our questions. You're voting on it today. You just got it within the last 24 hours because Mr. Sellers made that clear that those detailed line items that we've been waiting for up until earlier yesterday morning were not given. So you not only do not know when I'm going to ask you this question, you're going to defer it to somebody else, but you're going to vote on it. Just let's put that on record. So for the Head Start program, obviously, again, I'm concerned with anything that deals with children. And I don't see a detailed list here of what this agenda item means. So, Mr. Chairman, being that you're going to be voting on that today, can you break that down for me, please?
County Manager.
Yes, the chairman, members of the board, the Head Start report is attached on the agenda item, and it has our enrollment numbers, our applications, and all of the information that's required in order for us to continue receiving that money to serve these children. That is included in the report.
And so again, I'm on the website, and the place that you're saying it's at, could you be more specific, because it's not here?
Anytime.
I thought I would pull it up since I keep hearing us being referred to a site. I thought I'd go there and look at the site, Chairman, to make sure that it's actually there.
Chairman, the agenda is posted Maricopa County
By
Clerk
time,
of the
please.
Board's website. If you click on the title of the agenda item, to the right, under supporting documents, will be a link to open up the attachment.
Thank you.
So my question to you, Mr. Sellers, at what point did you read that? I reserved my time.
I think all of us on the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors stay in touch with our Head Start program routinely. We don't need to see a report to know
So
what's
when
going
did you
on.
read it within the last 24 hours? You're voting on it today.
I'm telling you that we understood what went into that report without reading the entire report.
Thank you for saying that. I also noticed that there was a mistake on this agenda item. We just heard that a moment ago, people laughing at how much and joyous it was that we want to argue over, you know, it's such a good deal. We saw that Gates and Hickman reserved my time. When did you want to correct that?
I would like to address that, Chairman, and I don't like saying this, but Supervisor Gates was...
I was at 7 minutes when I asked to reserve my time.
Yeah,
It is in District 4, so...
That is correct. I can confirm that. I checked that as well. My apologies, Supervisor Hickman, and please take good care of
I had 7 minutes. I had 7 seconds when I
500.
asked that question.
Mr. Chairman, I see 0 on the clock. I approve.
I had 7 seconds when I asked that question. I asked it to be reserved, and then you clarified your mistake was a mistake and that Mr. Gates was in error.
This is a delay of the proceedings. Mr.
Actually, no, it makes it very clear to us
For
that you
86.
guys do not
Yeah, Mr.
like to
Chairman.
answer the question of the people. You make decisions based on short notice, and you're making major decisions.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Under consent agenda, item 92, settlement resolution of property tax cases and claims. And Supervisor Gates will recuse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, 92, settlement resolution of property tax cases and claims. The board will now consider item 92.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve item number 92.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Board of Supervisors addendum under Clerk of the Board, item 93, special event license for Anthem Rotary Foundation. The board will now consider item 93.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We will now recess as the Board of Supervisors and convene as the Flood Control District Board of Directors. Under Flood Control District, item 94, IGA with Regional Public Transportation Authority. Item 95 and 96, resolution for drainage improvement projects. Item 97, 98, declare sell excess parcels. Item 99, easement right-of-way and relocation assistance documents. The board will now consider items 94 through 99.
Move to approve items 94 through 99, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We will now adjourn as the Flood Control District Board of Directors and convene as the Library District Board of Directors. Under Library District, item 100, IGA with Regional Public Transportation Authority. Item 101, donations. Item 102, minutes. The board will now consider items 100 through 102.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve items number 100, 101, and 102.
We have a motion
Second?
and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We will now adjourn as the Library District Board of Directors and reconvene as the Board of Supervisors. Under Board of Supervisors, item 103, public comment. Madam Clerk?
Chairman, I received 11 public speaker forms, and I will bring these to you.
Thank you. Florence Smith.
Earlier this year, I told how Melissa Carone, who was hired to do IT for Dominion Voting Systems, stated that the company's president had lied 10 different ways in his testimony before the Michigan Senate. Her evidence was from Dominion's documents, recordings, and text messages she was given. Just this January, Michael Butts filed a lawsuit against Dominion's owner, stating he committed perjury in his testimony since he failed to provide accurate and transparent information to the Michigan senators. And now Patrick Kolbeck, a former Michigan senator and an aerospace engineer, recently filed a perjury complaint against the president of Dominion Voting Machine, stating that Mr. Paulus committed 15 counts of perjury during his December 15, 2020 testimony. As someone who considers himself a geek, Mr. Kolbeck found several false or misleading statements that were made in the testimony under oath before the Michigan Senate. I did email this to you, the 15 counts of perjury and what Mr. Kolbeck replied to them. So I obviously can't do that in my 2 minutes, but I wanted to add from my own research some of the proof that Dominion's machines were being connected to the internet, which was part of the perjury that he had committed. I found that there were several accounts of people who had trouble with their voting machines, and so through remote control access, Dominion's people were able to correct the machine from another location. People are also finding various examples of voting machines which are still to this day connected to the internet. There also was an increase in internet traffic on Election Day, and experts attribute it to voting machines.
Thank you. Don Adams is next. After Don is Dan Schroeder.
It's come to my attention in the last couple of weeks that, let's see, Fulton County, Georgia, that 380,000 ballot images were like deleted or something like that, and they're doing something about that there. And here in Arizona, the Arizona state law says that there's only one type of ballot paper that's legal. And in the last couple of weeks, it's come out that for the 2020 election, there was 10 different types of paper that were found used in the 2020 election ballots. So that reminds me of the time that I spent 37 days on the Maricopa County audit for the 2020 election, and I was a turntable loader, and I would grab the ballot and put it on the little platform that was on the turntable. There was 2 platforms, and I was wearing latex gloves, and I could tell every time the thickness or the thinness of the paper changed. And it was kind of ironic to me that that every time the paper got thinner, there'd be a whole run of Biden votes. That's kind of strange, don't you think? And I went through approximately 55,000 ballots in my 37 days there. And the other thing was I was on microscopes for the last 6 days, and one day I got a voting day ballot box, pristine ballots, and all the little crosshairs, they lined up on the voting day ballots, but they didn't line up on the early ballots and the other ones. And the voting day ballots, about 85 or 90% were for Trump. That's kind of interesting.
Dan Schroeder and then Tom Arnold.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'd like to read Executive Order 13848. This was September 12th of 2018. By the authority vested in me as President of the Constitution of the laws of the United States, including International Emergency Economic Powers Act, I'm going to paraphrase. I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, find the ability of persons located in whole or in substantial part outside the United States to interfere or undermine public confidence in the United States election, including through the unauthorized assessing of election and campaign infrastructure or the covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation, constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to national security and foreign policies of the United States. Although there's been no evidence of a foreign power altering the outcome or vote tabulation in the United States election, foreign powers have historically sought to exploit America's free and open political system. In recent years, the proliferation of digital devices and internet-based communications has created significant vulnerabilities and magnified the scope and intensity of the threat of foreign interference, as illustrated in the 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment. I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with this threat. So if you're wondering why I'm questioning, pay attention, Bill, if you're wondering why I'm questioning the new building being built for the election facility, this has a great deal to do with it. They found corruption all over the country. This was an emergency order, one of 10 other emergency orders. And I want to remind you that it only takes 3 unanswered national emergencies by the president for him to become a wartime president. And he is.
Tom Arnold and then Blue.
Thank you. A podcast I listened to, it talked about the dangers to our country and our freedoms, and one of them was election integrity. And I don't remember what the second one was. It may have been freedom of speech. My question I would like to ask of you is, and I'll address this to you, Mr. Sellers, being the chairman, whatever investigation was done in the 20 and 22 election, and it was approved by the board, do we have access to, does the populace have access to looking into what was done in that investigation?
Absolutely, it's all available.
Where, please?
You can't answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, if I could ask the county attorney to weigh in on how public comment works.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, during the call to the public, this is the time for public comment. Members of the board may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to ARS Section 38431.01H, actions taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticism, or scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date.
Thank you.
All right. I'm not sure that I understood the answer. I apologize. Again, my other thing that I would like for consideration of the folks on the board is the findings from Michelle, and there was another link from somebody down in Arizona that they found what their interpretation of misgivings. Are these something that the investigation board was looked into when they approved? Thank you.
Blue and then Ray Michaels.
I'll first start out by saying we're going to miss you, Bill and Clint, and I appreciate the efforts and the institutional knowledge you have. But thank goodness the maggots, the Make America Great Trump supporters, were able to give a new name to themselves. They're the Reich wing. Just a thought, y'all. And the way that they have expressed and done and used and abused you, not the best. But then again, what is your jobs and what are you supposed to do? As I said with my stuff there, that there's jurisdictional equity, that it says that it's happening within the system. You're one of the jurisdictions. Where is your part of the input into the RPTA's routings, et cetera? And if it's not there, why not? And where is your plans to make sure that the county does get its share of those? Because one of the things that the county does support is the rural routes. So where is the Tonopah run? Where is the North Valley run? Where is the Queen Creek run? Where is the Anthem run? Where are those bus routes? Why haven't they been addressed? So, as I've stated before and again, unless you bifurcate those two agencies so that all of the monies that are going to be going to the bus go to it, expanding service. In the short-range plan there, they said to improve security, they're spending $200,000 on 2 new people to just watch the rails. How does that improve service? And for $200,000, give me a bus route to Wickenburg. Thank you. Or Aguila, or the Harkahila.
Ray Michaels and then Leslie Shepard.
Hi, Ray Michaels. This past Monday, there was an emergency meeting for the $3.8 billion budget without any public comment. My question would be, what was the emergency and why no public comment? Is the budget a surprise? This should have been well planned out. These are important decisions that require due and careful consideration, not only from the board, but from we, the people. In Arizona, there are 30 legislative districts, each having 1 senator and 2 representatives, a total of 90 public servants, plus the signature of the governor as additional oversight. Who is the ultimate oversight over this Board of Supervisors, especially over a $3.8 billion budget without any public comment? Additionally, there are a total of 15 counties here in Arizona. Who or what is the governing body that oversees each one of these county board of supervisors? If you can imagine Maricopa County, $3.8 billion, what are we looking at? That's a massive budget for 5 individuals. What we're looking for is accountability and responsibility and servitude, and to be not self-serving, but selfless in serving. You know, when we come up here every 2 weeks for these meetings, we should not be an inconvenience to anybody here. We are the public. This is who you should be hearing from, because you are in this position to serve the public. And so please do not be distracted by questions that we come up. We actually want to know. We're not trying to prevent you from doing your job. We're trying to help you do your job. Thank you.
Leslie Shepard and then Lamar. I can't make out the last name.
Okay, you all should have, hello, Mr. Chairman and the rest of you. You all should have received here, this, I see it being passed around right now. These are the constitutional laws regarding elections. I was here on Monday. The only one that wasn't here was Clint. I'm not sure where he was at, but I did hear a reference that Gallardo said that referred to you when he talked about the ballots being burned down at a certain site. That was pretty interesting. So I just want to bring it to your attention that I mentioned at the meeting on Monday that all of you that were here, not one of you questioned the unconstitutional actions that were being discussed by Scott, Jared, Shira, and the other gentleman that was here. Not one of you. Arizona Constitution, Article 7, Section 11. direct violation. The majority of everything you guys talked about, not one challenge. You have been given the constitutional laws. You can't say you're ignorant to it anymore. Actually, you've been given to them several times, but I thought I would bring it up since just on Monday, I watched you guys not question one thing. You're talking about these ballots. Matter of fact, I appreciated you, Thomas Galvin, wanting to score a little couple points because we know that you were running for your position again. Ugenti's probably going to take you under. But I just want to let you know that you actually brought up the fact that they're actually going to be turning our voting ballots into 2 separate ballots. I appreciate you trying to act like you're detail-oriented as you share more conspiring against we the people's right of suffrage. You're going to put in 2 drinking fountains at McDowell Mountain Ranch area, or 3. Why don't we put some in right around here for the public that come to this facility? You act like you're doing something impressive. You're not. I would give you a criticism, but I already know you're not going to answer anything, even though we could criticize the tar out of you right now, and you are obligated to answer our questions. Thank you.
Okay, Lamar, and then Veronica Cochran.
Louis Marzabetti Garza. We have laws and we know how to use them. I was looking at item 70, and it is public comments, and I am going to criticize. I think that you're all going to go out to that ASU program and actively recruit people who are desperate for either a coffee and a donut or a pastelito and a café con leche to be able to take a vaccine, because you're going to hound them until they do. I do have a question, and I'm going to criticize it also, because when you have your board here and then you adjourn for the flood control, then you re-adjourn for the other meeting, then you adjourn for the library and re-adjourn, does that reset the comment portion of people who might want to comment on the library board meeting issue, or people who might want to comment on the flood board meeting issue? These are 3 distinct boards which you should, by law, when you adjourn, reset your comment for that particular number. I was also listening to what happened on Monday, and seriously, where you can just print out ballots if you happen to need one at the moment. This is the epitome of corruption here in Arizona. And I guess my final words would be, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. And for you, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect, and I say protect, their safety and happiness. Thank you.
Veronica Cochran, and then Roger Pickerel.
Hello. I am not here to tell you what to do. We are not here to tell you what to do, because our leaders, our representatives will do what their conscience will tell them. We are here to challenge your conscience and challenge how you do your work, because if you don't have a backfeed from us, how can you do the work? You're not listening to the people. We speak the truth, and it's why God gave us a free will. We need strong men. I could tell that we lack of leadership is a lack of moral and following the Constitution. Mr. Galvin is leaving. He probably does not understand. I would love to meet with you in person, sir, and set up a meeting, because I've seen in El Paso last year, actually not long ago, I was getting a new passport, and I've seen illegals in line. This was the scariest thing I've seen since I came from a communist China, that illegals who don't speak English were getting passports. It was like a clock, like an hour. So there is so much deception here. And I will tell you, I know that if you love your children, you will do the right thing and say no to wrongdoing. It's only 2 minutes. It's hard to explain everything, sir. But If you love your children, you dance with World Economic Forum, you dance with WHO. These people are not elected. These are globalists, descendants of Nazis who basically we never won Second World War, who basically pushed for international fascism. They hate America, and we need to stand for America. We need from you to do the right thing. Even if you have to pay consequences, if you don't get enough money, you know what? You will save your soul. Your children will thank you one day if you do the right thing. So thank you.
Roger Pickerel, and then Lori Baroni. Roger Pickerel, and then Lori Baroni.
Thank you, Roger Pickerel. I'd like to take a second to quote from a speech that Calvin Coolidge did on October 20th, 1925, and it so says, "The great revival of the middle of the 18th century had a marked influence upon our revolutionary period. The century had a marked, the claim to the right to freedom, the claim to the right to equality, with the resolute right to self-government, the rule of the people, have no foundation other than the common brotherhood of man derived from the common fatherhood of God. The righteous authority of the law depends for its sanction upon its harmony with the righteous authority of the Almighty God." Ladies and gentlemen, we have statesmen that served in the highest office of this country. They're bringing an outline of understanding that we all are we the people. We're equal in this land. We have a voice. The First Amendment was given to us inalienably. We have many other rights, and we have been doctrined by that in the Constitution. We have allowed a piece of our authority to be allowed to be exercised by we the people, by an electorate. We established the fact that we trust, by that trust, for you to do our work for us. We, as each an individual, was raised by our parents to do tasks for them, and they trusted us until that trust was broken. Ladies and gentlemen, we all will answer to the Almighty God one day. I rest you in peace.
Last speaker is Lori Baroni.
So I would just like to reiterate that you've shared that the amount of time that's to be given for the agenda items and all the links and, documenting evidence is to be prepared for us at least a minimum of 24 hours in advance of these meetings. I would hope that would be adhered to going forward. I would also like to speak to Ray Michael's point. The $3.8 billion is a lot of money to spend when you're not, as you stated, you're not even reading all of these items prior to voting on them in lockstep. That's clear, and that's malfeasance as far as I'm concerned, and I surely hope you'll all rethink that in moving forward. And to that point also, I'd like to find out if in that $3.8 billion, you're doing something to defund libraries that are still providing pornography to our young children. And that, y'all are in charge of that. You're part of helping corrupt our youth. And you're gonna definitely be answering to God for that someday. Because, what I think in the Bible it says that you harm a hair on a child's head and you'd be better served to have a millstone around your neck. To pardon the poor paraphrasing of that, but anyway, you've all been on notice for quite some time about the books in our children's libraries, and I haven't heard of anything happening about that yet. Can anybody give us something about that? I know you're not allowed to speak, but But it's unconscionable that none of you, as parents or grandparents, are doing anything to protect our children. They are our future. You don't even care about your own children, that you would allow this smut to continue in the schools? Shame on you.
County manager, anything?
No, thank you, Chairman.
Supervisors, any comments?
Not today, sir.
No, sir. Thank you.
This meeting is adjourned.